Now let's look at the vocal part of this Dolby Atmos mix. This is one thing I like doing a lot. I like to export the reverb and the delays and, all of those time-based effects separately, because it gives me the option of being able to just place them at different positions in the room so I can create like a nice immersive experience. For example, this room reverb, I think I placed in the front channel. Let's listen to that. Left, right. Let's look at the renderer. Right, so you can hear it's just on the front of the room. Let me see if I increase the height. No, it's just in the front of the room. But I obviously increase the size a little bit. I like to do that because I want the reverb to be in the front, but also just bleed to the other monitors. Do you understand? Height channels as well as the side surrounds. And then I will do the opposite for delays. So I like to put my room reverb in the front. The main reverb I'll usually place at the middle of the room, right? And I think that's what I'm doing here. Let's look at that. Right, you can see, so it's coming from the side surrounds mainly, but as usual, I increase the size. So we have a little bit of the reverb going to the other monitor positions, right? So as you can see, we have left, right, but it's mainly on the left surround and the right surround monitors, right? And then the height channels as well. I think that's because I increased the height. Let's see. So I increased the height by 50. So we have the reverb kind of like floating above my head at this point, creating a very nice Atmos, Atmos effect, right? And then what else do we have here? I think my delay is obviously going to the back of the room because that's where I like to put it. Okay, this time around, I didn't put it at the back of the room, but I just placed it like behind me, right? So if we look at the renderer, right? So it sounds like it's just behind me like this, right? Mad. And I increase the height as well. So it's like at the back of me, but also like at the top, just a little bit close to the top of my head. And then what else? So we have the hook reverb. I'm sure I'm doing the same thing, like placing in the middle of the room. Yep, middle of the room, but I've increased the size this time around to be much, much wider, Oof. Reverb is so lush. The hook delay. Yeah, this one I've sent to the back of the room. Yeah. Ooh, but I've sent this one to the height channels. That's actually quite nice. So you just feel like it's beaming down on you. Ooh, nice. Cool. So that's sent to the back of the room, but also to the high channels, right? And then I increase the size as well so we can, get a little bit of that delay going to the other monitor positions. What else are we doing here? Okay, what's next? The ad-lib reverb. I'm sure I did the same thing, placed it in the middle of the room. Let's listen to that. Right. Right. I really like to put my reverbs here, my main reverbs here, right? I like to just have them in the middle of the room, just increase the height a little bit so it goes to the high channels and just increase the width so it can go to the other channels, all around me. It creates a very nice immersive feeling, if you will. The ad-lib delay, back of the room. It's beautiful. Well, this should sound very dope. And you can hear the sound going from left to right. I already did those automations during the stereo mix, right? So dope. But because it's Atmos, man, now you can move it from the front, from just left and right to the back of the room. It's actually just dope. And then let's look at this. I don't know if I mentioned this earlier, but for my vocals, like my main leads and stuff, I like to put them near in my binaural settings. Let me show you my binaural settings. So the binaural setting basically allows you to set the position of the sound in the room in a way where it translates perfectly to your headphones. Let's say, for example, I have a snare sound and I place it just right in the center and I bring it closer to me. If I listen on my headphones with the binaural mode and I realize that, okay, the snare or that channel is set too far, it might not sound as good, right? And I might need to bring it to near. Or if it was set to mid and I want to bring it to near, I'll bring it to near to get a much precise position in the room. Do you understand? I hope that makes sense. But that's what I'm doing here. If you notice, all of the vocals in the object channels I've set to near, right? Because I want the vocals to feel closer to the listener. In my opinion, it gives the vocal more punch. But it also depends on the kind of music you're trying to create. Maybe you're trying to create something that feels like it's distant. You're just going to change the binaural setting for that object channel to however you want it, near, mid, far, or even off. When you turn it to off, you don't get any binaural effect going on at all. It just sounds like normal stereo. So that's what I'm doing here. All of my main leads, let's listen to them. Kanayo, I'm ready to sacrifice my love. Sounds very good. And if you look at the panel, see, I just placed the lead at the front of the room, left right channels. I mean, that's usually where you'd want to put it, right? Because those are like your main vocals, except you're trying to do effects, so you're trying to do like some crazy thing that you can move them around. Kisses, betanaya, oh, sawadaya, shibaradaya, tikan, panadaya. You can see all of them there. There's something else I did here. I think for this part, I did a very fun automation. I'm making this part of the vocal go from left to right and then in circles, you know, around my head. Let's listen to that. Can you get your body on me? On me, on me. You see that? Beautiful. Kanayo. Listen to that again. On me, on me, on me, on me. Oh, can you get your body on me, on me, you see that? On me, on me. So much. Kanayo, I'm ready to sacrifice my love. Yeah, I did the same for the breach part. Where's it? This part. Kanayo, I'm ready to sacrifice my love. It sounds very, very good. I really like the effect that thing gives to the sound because when you're listening, sounds like conjuring. If you listen to this on YouTube, you might not get the proper 100% feeling though. It might just play a stereo, right? But I think you can get a sense of it going around in circles. But if you're listening in the room here, it's like 100% 360. It's actually very, very dope. You know? Another thing I really like about mixing Dolby Atmos is if you have your song sounding great, like if you have a dope Dolby Atmos mix, you can really fold it down. If you have a 5.1 system, it folds down. If you have a stereo system, it folds down to that. If you have a mono system, it folds down to that. And it sounds great regardless, right? Across the board. It's amazing. For example, you are most likely going to hear most of what I'm doing right now via stereo format when it gets to YouTube. But you will still hear the music, you will enjoy the mix, everything will still sound great. That's Dolby Atmos mix breakdown for Kanayo. Again, shout out to everybody streaming this EP. We're very, very grateful. The feedback has been amazing, right? So if you like this content, make sure you leave me a thumbs up and subscribe for more gems. Okay, I'm going to also do the breakdown for the rest of the records on the project, from the beat breakdown to the mixing and mastering and the obviously Dolby Atmos mix breakdown. Okay, and then I've also been working on some other very interesting mixing and mastering tips. I think you guys will be interested in this. So if you don't want to miss any of that, make sure you subscribe. And yes, there's some of you that always ask me, what do I use? The gear that I use. So I have links below to all of the gear that I use, right? That I use in the studio. And also some links that might help you. So if in case you are trying to create something like this, you can go to those links for inspiration or buy from those links, right? You support my tiny channel, right? I don't think there's anything left to say, so I should see you on the next one. Peace.